let's rock!
I got this.
Oh, yeah!
That should do it.
Whoa! Oh, no. We're better at this in our world.
With the release of Sonic Frontiers, the Sonic franchise ended up taking on a direction that I could not possibly have expected. Bringing on Ian Flynn, the lead writer of the critically acclaimed Sonic IDW comics, which absolutely slap by the way, Frontiers decides not only to harken back to early installments, but to canonize a lot of Sonic spin-off media.
I bet Tangle would love climbing around these ruins.
Okay, making IDW canon, that's amazing. No notes.
Kinda reminds me of where we found Babylon Garden. Yeah, I wonder what Jet's up to.
I kinda had the impression that Riders was set in a futuristic alternate universe? But okay, go off.
I wonder if cream and sticks are free. Make a road trip out of it.
Okay, what the fuck? Sonic Boom, right up to this line of dialogue, was so far removed from the main series that it's honestly kind of insane to see it brought into the fold like this. Boom was, by design, a hard reboot of Sonic that sought to reimagine the characters. These Knuckles are not the same person.
To protect my home, I need to know every possible vulnerability.
This must be what birds feel like! Look at me! I'm a penguin!
And you know what my spicy take on this matter is? Boom's visual design and aesthetic were perfect for the Sonic series, and they should have stayed, despite the fact that the original game sucked shit, and its 3DS counterparts were painfully average, and its tie-in show was an amalgamation of the funniest and most charming comedy ever featured on VidAMs, with a painfully tepid action show, kneecapped by a noticeably limited animation budget.
Everyone just goes around gasping at me when I call a guy, or people. I quit heroing, and I quit this stupid group!
It hurts how much Roger Craig Smith is selling this line compared to how little Sonic's model can match his energy. And I'm sure that's not the first time you've heard a Sonic fan say that. Anyways, the big realization I had recently is that Sega getting tired of bapping Ian Flynn with a rolled up newspaper and telling him no has allowed him to open the floodgates, something he really likes doing. This absolute mad lad acknowledges Jamerl. We bow to him in this house. Now, while Ian Flynn himself is uncertain if Sega will let him bring sticks back for any future games, her being canon to Frontiers could very well mean that the NPCs and minor villains of Boom are also canon. So the same universe that features threats like Chaos, Dark Gaia, and
Oh shit, it's the Bible!
could very well feature the complete melts, who I'm going to spend this video talking about. Strap in.
I'll gather the crystal fragments and build my empire.
Nah, fuck this scaly bitch, I'm talking about this absolute unit.
I'm begging you for mercy!
I have no mercy. I work in the fast food industry.
David the Nutria, referred to officially as Dave the Intern and self-described as Dave the Invincible, is a young fast food worker who wishes to become a force for evil. This is inspired by his troubled home life, under the iron fist of his overbearing mother and her asshole boyfriend.
What are you doing down there?
Nothing, Mother.
Are you gonna play with your dollies all day? Or are you going to go out and try to be a villain?
They're action figures.
The first time we see Dave try to achieve his dreams is in Season 1, Episode 7, where he takes some leave from customer service in order to work under Dr. Eggman. Starline? Ha! Who the hell is that bozo? Get him out of here! Make way for Peak!
Mop the bathroom.
Mop the bathroom? Wow! Back at Mad Burger, I'd have to be a manager to do that.
Much of a duplicitous suck-up as he is, going so far as to disassemble Cubot after deeming him as a threat to his unpaid internship, Dave does ultimately hunger for villainy, and flies into a destructive rage when told he has to work his way up to it.
That is my doomsday device!
Well, maybe you shouldn't have left the power supply in here then. And maybe I shouldn't put the power supply in my pants!
You're not wearing any pants!
Then what are these pockets?
Did you just casually reveal that Sonic characters keep their rings and emeralds in their organic pockets? Like, that is somehow more upsetting than the obvious alternative. Anyway, stay on target. Dave locks himself into an arms race with Eggman to see who could destroy the world with a doomsday device first. Sonic and Tails meddle with this arms race and ultimately cancel it out, leaving Dave to be fired. However, being as ineffective of a villain as he is, both Sonic and Eggman continue to frequent his fast food joint, because neither consider him a threat.
They're all gonna pay! You want fries with that?
Now, this is as good of a showing as any, but we need to remember this video's framing device. This whole ordeal centers heavily around Sonic, Tails, and Eggman, so could not possibly have happened in the mainline game canon, because these characters, once again, are not the same as these characters. The only thing set in stone is that mainline Amy and Styx are friends, somehow, so going forward, I'm only going to focus on evil doings that can exist in a vacuum, or at least involve one or both of the girls. So, under these criteria, Dave doesn't commit any other major acts of villainy. He earns an evil permit in Season 2, Episode 11, during a period where crime is more heavily regulated and taxed. And in Season 2, Episode 42, we learn that he's a wildly reckless driver. But as an individual villain, Dave is about as lacking as his mother believes. However, as part of an evil team, he definitely pulls more of his weight. Consisting of Dave the Intern, Willy the Walrus, the Weasel Bandits, and this completely unassuming tree, there exists a group that terrorizes the people of Seaside Island. And much like Dave himself, the individual members aren't all too intimidating. Willy the Walrus, who is wonderfully voiced by Wally Wingert, is a very cordial gentleman who engages in petty evil as a hobby, and is often caught and arrested for it.
Who's this handsome fella? Oh, you honey dripper.
And you know me, I'm never one to body shame, but this walrus's body type really accentuates the inherent nudity of male Sonic characters. Like, I can't put my finger on why, but this guy feels like he should be wearing clothes. I'm adding public indecency to his list.
All right, load him up. Hurry up, and nobody gets hurt.
The Weasel Bandits are first seen robbing the passive-aggressive chinchillas of Gogaba Village, and their later crimes would include stealing purses, robbing stores, you know, banditry. It's kind of in their name. And as for this tree, well, what kind of evil feats could a simple tree do without some support?
I'm on to you, Tree. You'll never get the recipe. Never!
In Season 1, Episode 16, we first learn of the Lightning Bolt Society, and from here, all bets are off. In terms of evil feats, this Shadowy Collective has it made. First of all is espionage. The unassuming tree, and, you know, brace yourselves for this one, is not a tree at all, but rather the chameleon, a lupine master of disguise who gathers intel and scouts for potential members.
Zipper stuck. Nice to meet ya.
And before we delve further into the depths of their depravity, I would advise those of you with weak constitutions to look away, as the following clips may prove distressing.
But it's already a juice container! Why dirty glass?
And tomatoes on the side, please.
Huh. I may have oversold them. I mean, okay, their evil feats aren't all that impressive, but they do have some impressive traits, like, they're shit-hot good at bowling. They're so good at bowling, in fact, they became local celebrities for it.
Everyone's got their favorite, whether it's the sneaky one, the geeky one, the cute one, or the overweight middle-aged walrus one.
I gotta work on my branding.
Okay, maybe these guys are in fact losers and not the menacing force I've been presenting them as. But how about we now turn to a villain who shares that opinion of them? Somebody who uses his wit and charisma to take advantage of every sucker that he meets.
Welcome to T.W. Barker's Circus of Wonders!
Introduced in Season 1, Episode 12, T.W. Barker is a circus ringmaster heavily based on P.T. Barnum. P.T. Barnum is known for hosting a circus show that famously mistreated its captive animals. Now, considering that animals are sapient in this world, and that Barker, being a dog, is one, I'm sure you can see there is a slightly uncomfortable social dynamic at play here.
Well, you see, my performers aren't exactly sick. They escaped.
Being a sleazy conman and, for all intents and purposes, a slave owner, Barker's canonical acts of villainy are already far worse than the lightning bolts. When we first meet him, he attempts to enslave Team Sonic, which for canon's sake we could boil down to just Styx and/or Amy, and he does so with the help of some motorbugs. And I know what you're thinking, how could any of this be canon to the mainline series if Boom Eggman's robots are involved? Well, Barker actually purchased these badniks, really leading into his affinity for enslaving his fellow animal. And it is safe to assume that Canon Eggman does in fact sell his to shady clients on the black market in order to fund his violent campaigns. So yeah, I'm counting this. The thing about Barker is he's the kind of opportunist who just sees people as marks, scamming anyone dumb enough to trust him. As such, I'm going to be more flexible with him, because even without a Boom Knuckles being there to fall for every scam Barker conceives, you know he would just scam somebody else. So with that in mind, here is his dirty laundry list.
I intend to prove that Sonic T. Hedgehog willfully and maliciously attacked and permanently injured my client, Dr. Eggman.
In Season 1, Episode 17, it is revealed that Barker moonlights as a corrupt accident lawyer, taking up fraudulent and frivolous cases.
I could find your dream house. For a nominal fee, of course.
What do you think, I was born yesterday? Because if so, this is a great belated birthday gift!
In Season 2, Episode 16, we learn that he's also a dodgy, unlicensed landlord. My actual least favorite type of person, right behind slave owner. Boy is really batting 1,000 here.
People have accused me of running a pyramid scheme. To them I say, sign up and find out for yourself.
Okay, I think we all get what this guy's deal is now, right? He's every kind of grifter, and he's the worst. And now we can all rest easy knowing that somewhere in the Sonic universe, he is absolutely fleecing some poor hapless victim with his latest crypto scam. So, now it's time for some special mentions. Charlie the Desert Rat and his wife, Belinda the Goat, are a villainous husband and wife duo, who are one of the more potent villainous forces in Sonic Boom, due to the former's excavation of an ancient, battle-ready mech suit. However, they were driven to evil specifically because of the bumbling antics of Boom Knuckles, and often beef with him specifically.
You got me fired from 2 different jobs, you almost ended my marriage. You ruined my life!
Oh, yeah. How you doing?
This can't translate to the mainline series, because if either of these tried beefing with mainline Knuckles, they would promptly have their faces caved in.
They called him the Goat Herder. He would always pick one poor sap to be his goat and wail mercilessly on him for the entire semester. I can't wait to see who it'll be this year.
In Season 2, Episode 35, we meet Professor Kingsford, a renowned and feared professor who runs a course on evil science.
What you are, Mr. Eggman, is a goat. Would you like a carrot, goat boy?
I just want to point out, in editing, the Belinda alone does not care for that microaggression. Eggman, along with every villain I've discussed thus far, studies under Kingsford in the hopes of achieving a doctorate in this definitely legitimate field. But Eggman ultimately earns the diploma over everyone else by cheating for it, thus proving himself to be the most capable villain.
Yeah!
Mainline Eggman almost certainly has a real robotics doctorate and would not have taken part in this goofy-ass aside. Although, it does leave me to theorize about who would have earned the doctorate if not for him. Given everything I've discussed so far, all signs point to Barker. Sorry, Dave.
Not another speeding ticket. I'll fight it in court, but I don't think they're gonna accept gotta go fast as a medical condition.
Season 2, Episode 32, which happens to be a road trip episode, features an opossum known as the Bike Chain Bandits.
So, Guy, what are you doing out in these parts?
Biding my time.
I'm addressing him here because he only gets a brief one-off appearance, but know that somewhere in the Sonicverse is an escaped, convicted maniac who garrots people with his duffel bag full of bike chains. One who is tough enough to remain unscathed after being launched from a moving vehicle. And now, let's take a look at the last original Sonic Boom villain who resonated with me. Unlike most of the other heavy hitters I've delved into, he's only the villain of one episode, Season 2, Episode 5, but I'll be damned if he didn't leave an uncomfortable impact.
Oh boy, there he is! Sonic the Hedgehog!
Mark the Tapir, who, important sidebar, is not based on a certain real-life person, chilling as the similarities may be, is Sonic's #1 fan. And the episode that spotlights him is a parody of Stephen King's Misery, with Mark being the Anne Wilkes of said parody. If you've read that book or seen its film adaptation, I don't think I need to delve much further into why Mark is a genuinely harrowing concept for a character, and a wild thing to put into a kid's show.
It's for the best.
Hey, please!
But it's his facade as a lovable, bumbling nice guy that really worries me.
Maybe next time I can bake you a pie at my cabin. Door's always open, except when it's locked and deadbolted. Then nobody gets in. Or out. Well, bye.
See? Nice guy.
This compared to the socially maladjusted, short-tempered incel energy that Mark gives off when things aren't going his way?
My first job as Sonic's assistant and I messed it up. I mess everything up.
Well, it's something. After purposefully injuring and locking Sonic in a cabin so he can be nursed back to health, Mark then starts to evolve into something else. Not just your typical Stan, but a reflection of Sonic's famously unhinged internet fans, complete with role-playing, fan art, and fanfiction. Like, it still feels weird to me knowing that the quote-unquote cringe elements of this fandom have been officially acknowledged and lambasted.
Escape? No. I was just searching for more of that fan fiction of yours. Ooh, Son Amy. Spicy.
Yeah, I don't really care for that, but it seems to be obligatory in the genre.
When Amy, Tails, and Knuckles arrive to retrieve their friend, Mark is able to incapacitate and capture all three of them with a simple log trap. Something that this version of Eggman has never successfully pulled off. And while he is promptly defeated by his captives, it is something of a Pyrrhic victory.
I can't believe I'm being defeated by Sonic the Hedgehog. This is the greatest day of my life!
It's like even when we win, he wins. Mark's later appearances would still see him being socially awkward, but far less malicious. While mainline Sonic likely never found himself injured or captured by this sociopathic, mentally unstable stalker of a fan, if Mark is canon now, yeah, he's probably worth avoiding. So, for my closing thoughts, the Boom cartoon is still very funny and charming. Its extended cast were surprisingly likeable for a bunch of furry randos, definitely more personality than all the background characters from Forces had, and if any of them were able to return in any official capacity, I would be absolutely stoked. I want to wrap up this video with a... Fucking Rick and Morty up in this bitch. I want to wrap up this video with a big thank you to my patrons, especially Anonymous, Dan Brown, twice, Fitzwilliam Ramsbottom, Loca Mossy, pronounced you correctly this time, Neve Calderwood, Pixel Pusher, Ravi Poodle, Shameboy, Thomas Walker, and Tomb Pirates. Also, Dante, your artwork, as well as your voice acting, are incredible, so keep at it.